And after you guys had met, and before Dead Moon, you had kids, you started a family. Another one of the mythical stories is about your trip to Alaska, and the Alaska trip. It's just kind of it epitomizes the whole do-it-yourself mentality.
I really had it. I just absolutely said I was getting out of the music business.
Right.
Totally. So I got Toody, and we had 2 kids at that time. We were like 20, I think.
Yeah, 20.
And we bought this old fire marshal's station wagon, which is a 1955 Pontiac. And
Sold everything we had.
sold everything we had. We paid $150 for the car, and I think we had $200 or something like that stashed to get up to Alaska to where my grandmother lived in Tippenard. So we were going to go up there and get jobs and just, work regular jobs. So as it turned out, all the front end of the car fell out on Alcan Highway. We went over a cliff. We thought we were dead. We just missed a tree or a big telephone pole. And this biker comes up behind us, and about 5 minutes later he goes, "Man, are you guys alive?" Because we went over a cliff that was about 60, 70 feet into sand dunes. Into sand dunes, straight over the top. Steering went out completely.
Had no control.
So this guy comes up to the top and he's going, "Are you guys all right there?" I go, yeah, we're fine. Couldn't believe we're alive, And he goes, "Man, you've been dropping parts for about the last 6 miles."
And he's stopping and picking them up.
I've been stopping and picking them up from you guys, right? All the tie rods and everything came out of the front end of the car. So me and him,
You're just going along like.
yeah, we didn't have.
Well, he knew something was wrong.
Yeah, right.
And after a while, the steering wheel, it was just spinning, and
So we put the tie rods and everything back in. We were missing all kinds of bolts. We used coat hangers and all kinds of weird shit. We tied everything together, and I could drive it at about 5 miles an hour. And this is when the Alcan was still all gravel. So we got it going, and you have to turn the wheel, like flip it, and to just make the tires barely, and then flip it back the other way, blah, blah, blah. So we got all the way up to Whitehorse, and then the fuel pump went out at that
Yeah,
point.
that's right. We
We both got out of that, and Judd came with this great big huge thing. Anyway, it was crazy. So we homesteaded on 100 acres on Fox Lake, which
This is
is
kind of where you put your flag down, right? You're like,
Yeah.
This is my land.
yeah, but
Well,
you go
you
in,
had
you
to
did
go
it
into the
legally.
office and you look at the map, and
Yeah.
this is when they were trying to, this is when they were trying to, add on to the population in the Yukon territories. And so it wasn't closed off to, to foreigners for them, I think it is now. But you had to go in and, stake your claim, and I can't remember. Anyway, do a bunch of paperwork. And basically, if you, worked the land or owned the property or did something with it for X amount of years, then it was yours. I don't remember what the actual terms were.
Right.
But
And you're just like, this
Yeah.
is ours, we're gonna build a house here.
well,
Yeah.
we decided to do that. And his mother and sisters, we were writing back and forth, and they heard about what we were doing, and they all thought it was so great that they cashed in some little policy or something that they all had and sent us, I don't know, a couple $1,000 or something, so we had some money to do something with, because otherwise we're just going to work our way and whatever, freaking out about the winter coming, and then when it snows on his birthday, which is August 28th, okay, then we better get on it here. We got 2 babies that need to be like inside when we can build a fire, because we're just living in a tent. But it's been one of the most amazing and memorable adventures of our lives. It was something I'm really glad that we did.
And you ended up eventually going back down to Portland over Christmas?
Yeah, we were both really homesick, so he just really wanted to surprise me and my mom and my dad and my brothers and sisters. So we just went into town one day, and we literally left with just what we had with us. He goes, "Hey, how'd you like to go home for Christmas?" I go, "Really? Kidding?" He goes, "No, let's go." Drove for 3 days straight, and I will never forget the look on my mom's face when she opened the front door. It was priceless. But yeah, and then when we tried to go
72
back,
hours to drive. 72 hours to drive straight through, and it was all the roads were iced, and we had ball tires on the pickup. And these truckers kept giving me, speed all the way down. So I'm just lit up. I'm going, oh yeah, I'm fine, Toody. You know, and then we get all the way down to Portland, open up, and nobody knew we were coming. Her mom opens up the front door and just goes, oh my God. She never thought she'd see us again. Pretty amazing.
And there you stayed. Oh, I mean, when did you guys actually?
Well, no, we actually tried to go back, and this is 1970. So yeah, everything we had left everything up there. But yeah, at the border, they claimed that we lied to them because we never did make it to Alaska. So they had no record of us leaving Canada, coming back in. We just entered Canada. It's like anybody else that's not leaving the U.S. Okay, we were basically illegal aliens at that point, and they were convinced because of his age that he was dodging the draft. He really wasn't, because we had 2 kids and that made you exempt at that point. But so anyway, they refused us entry and said, yeah, well, hey, you can fill out the paperwork and send it to Ottawa and wait for 1.5 years. And if they'll say yes, we'll let you through. So we said, okay, that's it. We wrote to our friends up there and said, hey, go out to the place, take what you can use.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, that's our next dream. We're talking about taking a trip back up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a guy,
We met in New York. Is running a festival that he does every year up there in Seward, and he figures he can line her and bring up to go and do a duo thing all the way up through Canada and Alaska.
Is there any casinos on the way up?
I don't think so, but I've always had this bucket list dream to take the ferry from either Portland or Seattle that goes all the way up to Alaska, which is supposed to be amazing. I've never been in Alaska myself. So, and to actually be able to do that as part of this trip, and then be able to take our car with us, and then drive back down the Alcan and go back by Fox Lake again. See how it's changed, how the White Horse has changed. It's been a couple years.
That's basically. What year was that?
A couple decades.
What year was that?
We were up there in 70,
Okay.
1970.
And so once you went up and you came back, and then that's when you settled in Portland. But you moved. When did you guys build the compound out? And how do you pronounce it?
Oh, Clackamas?
Yeah.
That was not till 93.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we did all kinds of stuff
Yeah.
in between.
And well, what was going on in between there, basically?
Okay, what was in between?
oh God, all kinds of bands and moving all over the place. We lived in LA and San Francisco for a bit and Sacramento for a bit. And kept coming back to
Yeah, what was the
Portland.
draw that kept bringing you back to the Northwest? What was that draw? I mean, just like.
It just feels like home. I mean, Fred was born up in Tacoma, Washington, so he's the Northwest native as well. And we just basically traveled around like gypsies until our daughter Amanda was old enough to go to school. And that's when we were still in LA, so she spent first grade down there. And then at some point we were just like, Fred remembers his mom was single and had to move around a lot, so he had to be the new kid at school like way too many times. He's like, I'm not putting my kids through that. Okay, we're planted. He started Guitar Shop first with one of his old bandmates from the Lollipop Shop, and then that went away, and that's when we went down to LA. And when we came back, it was just like, hey, we started the Guitar Shop together. Just figured, hey.
That was part of the guitar shop in Portland?
Yeah, that was Captain Wizard.
Right. And then the compound that you basically built by hand on Clackamas, right?
Yeah, that's
Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Tombstone, which was a general store, and it was a guitar shop and everything like that. So I guess take me through just the beginning of Dead Moon if you can, since I feel like so many people were.
Well, we were I was on a rampage of just doing country. I had it with rock. So I was doing a Western Front and all these projects with part of them with Toody, and we were recording a bunch of crap. And anyway, we got bored with that, and we went to Reno and spent about a month down in Reno running around gambling and playing all over the place. Actually, we spent the whole summer there.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and then decided that we were going to come back to town and start a rock and roll band. So we came back and thought, well, let's find out about Andrew Loomis, because we never met him, just seen him play. So we came back, and his brother was working at Satirica, and they used to look totally alike. So I thought, I was convinced his brother was...
They're Irish twins, they're like a year and a half apart.
Okay. So I was convinced that his brother Matt was Andrew. So I told Matt, who doesn't play, I said, hey man, you want to come out and jam with me on some country stuff or something? And he goes, okay. And he didn't want to say no. So he got a hold of Andrew and says, man, Fred Clint came down here and asked me if I wanted to come out and play drums, I think. I think he thinks I was you. So Andrew got a hold of us and goes, yeah, you know, Matt said, blah, blah, blah. We didn't know.
You could just send Andrew anyway.
Yeah, right. So we got together with Andrew and we tried playing some country, and Andrew couldn't catch country at all at that point. So he says, okay, well, let's just play some regular old rock and roll stuff. And that's what we started out doing, and just covers. I go, man, I've had it playing with originals because we don't go anywhere. Let's just play some covers and get some regular club gigs and, you know, see how that goes. So our first gig, we went out and opened up for a comedy act. They had a Monday night comedy show with like 9 comedians that would come in, and then they said, yeah, if you guys want to play, you can play after the comedians are done. So we had to wait through all these guys, really bad, okay? And you know, that was our first gig, and finally we get done, every place is completely empty except for like one person, and we're going, yeah, okay, so that's what we played with our first gig. It was one guy, he paid $2, and we played our, I don't know, half-hour set we had, and that was our debut.
For as many times as you get sick of country, sick of rock, like what made Dead Moon, what made you not be sick of it?
What made us not be sick of it?
Yeah.
I just got inspired to start writing.
Constantly.
A lot of stuff, so, and that was cool, you know, so, and I was recording everything at our house, experimenting with some of the weirdest, putting Toody's bass amp in the bathtub, and then, you know, and stuff like running. I had stuff running all over the stage, man, you know, it's like, I thought, oh, this is, okay, this is gotta work out, you know, somehow.
What made you experiment with putting her bass in the bathtub?
It just sounded like a good idea, because
No,
it
we
went,
read Billy Childish.
oh yeah, it was Billy Childish had tried it, but anyway, the fact that it's surrounding it causes almost like an echo kind of a thing, which is pretty cool, you know. But anyway,
For me, with Dead Moon, it was really that it was like we finally hit on the magic combination. Just working with Andrew.
Andrew was the piece.
He's such a character. Oh my God. You know, it's just like, it was just fun. And we just clicked together, and we just seemed to just be able to key off one another and read each other's minds, and it was just magical right off the get-go. So that's what it meant for me. People used to be amazed that we'd both be playing with our eyes closed and just barely miss each other, you know, and I wouldn't, I pecked him a couple times in the head with my bass, but he'd do the same with sticks, but just playing that tight and that close and just, it was almost, I hear it was really cool to watch.
I mean, so much of it too, and this plays into a lot of you guys' auras. The ritualism of the bands, and kind of when you're talking about swaying back and forth and sort of like a chant, weighing the candle and the jack bottle, and you guys were rallying before. I mean, is that a thing that you cultivated, or it just became?
No, what's great is that it just sort of happened spontaneously. Our son Whedon went on our first Dead Moon tours in Europe and was doing our merchandise for us when he was in his early 20s. And Andrew never used the rack tom, or he had it at one point. He goes, man, I'm sick of carrying this thing around. I never smacked the thing anyway, so he lost that and went down to just 3 pieces. And there's a hole in the original Ludwig bass drum that he used. And at that point, Jack Daniels was all our preferred drink. So Whedon found an empty bottle, and just during the gig, he put it upside down in the hole. And at some other gig, Andrew shoved a candle on top of it. I don't remember how or why, but he just did, and this became the thing. And the ritual became so important to the audience that there were different things that just added. I mean, he happened to do the water shot that we used to do on Johnny's Got a Gun by pure accident. I think it was BC, the crazy guy that made Fred's belt buckle.
Quart of red wine on Andrew's
floor tom.
And Andrew didn't know it, and he hit it.
Yeah.
It splashed up, and he thought he was bleeding all over.
Yeah, but in the lights, everybody goes, "Oh my God, that you won't believe how cool that looks." It's like, shit, you know?
Yeah.
You just had no idea what it is.
Yeah, no. But that was kind of the magic of the whole thing. Everybody thinks, oh man, they, contrived it. No, it just kind of happened.
Right.
And then once it did, everybody loved it so much that it just stuck. And Fred's very superstitious and loves the ritual anyway, so for him it's like, oh, we gotta do that.
Right.
I mean, like every time.
And then,
And the thing with the candle was just crazy. Everybody thought that we played until the candle burned out.
Oh, really?
We had one gig in Germany where these guys, Bordeaux, whatever, anyway, these guys brought a candle that was about 3 feet tall and about a foot walk around. It took 2 guys to carry this thing in, it was so heavy. And they put it on stage and said, "You play till the candle burns out." Which would take about a month and a half. You're like, oh, okay, that ain't happening, dude.
Well,